Television and YouTube are fighting for ratings and viewership. Views mean a lot more now than they did in the past, and this is pushing the creators of TV shows and YouTube shows alike to be more creative. Sometimes, this uniqueness goes a bit too far. Today on Factsinbox, we'll take a look at some of the craziest TV shows. Mars 1. Now, imagine turning colonies on Mars into a chic reality show. This show actually exists. A one-way ticket to Mars costs $6 billion, so this show is super expensive. The show will begin with a selection of astronauts and will follow their lives on Mars. Astronauts have already developed a plan for these contestants to go to Mars and land safely. The launch of the manned spacecraft is scheduled for September 14, 2022. The first settlement on Mars will begin in 2023. The project is managed by Bas Landrop. On January 15, 2019, a court of the Swiss canton of Baselstadt declared Mars 1 Venture AG bankrupt and issued a court order for its liquidation. The founder of the company, Bas Landrop, confirmed this news and said that he was negotiating with authorities and investors to find a solution, though he didn't disclose any details. The liquidation of the company calls into question the further financing of the project, but at the same time, there are accurate dates for the implementation of the project in the public domain. From 2020 to 2022, satellites will be launched. This is considered a demonstration mission, sending a landing module to test solar panels, technology for extracting water from Martian soil, as well as launching a communication satellite that will transmit images, videos, and other data from the surface of Mars. Information will be transferred 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Within 5 years, residential modules will be sent. This includes the base for the arrival of the people. And already, in 2027, the first crew in the landing module will have landed on Mars. After restoration and assimilation, the quote-unquote settlers will install additional solar panels, assemble all the modules, including 2 residential units and 2 life support systems, and do the same for the second crew. They will all be housed in a single Martian base. Now, this large-scale project has had some financial difficulties. Donations are being collected on the project's official website. If you want to help implement a historical event, you can donate any amount you want. More details in the description of this video. Candy or not candy? This is the name of the cunning Japanese television show, which at first glance resembles the ward of a madhouse. I mean, what else could you possibly think when the participants of the show are tasting indoor plants, doorknobs, shoes, and any other inedible objects? But this is the only way to distinguish the real thing from the sweet fake and do the job. Whether or not you think this show is ridiculous doesn't matter. You have to hand it to the Japanese. This is genius. From Japanese, the word sokuri can be translated as similar to. Participants in the show must guess whether or not some items are sukuri or similar to a sweet. The challenge is whether or not they can distinguish between the real thing or its sweet counterpart. For example, they'll show you a doorknob, and now you have to ask yourself, is this doorknob chocolate or metal? Another example, they could show you a bowl of noodles. Is it really a bowl of noodles, or is it a strange cake decorated with soap? Japanese celebrities are often guests on the program. In one episode, the participant was given a shoe and was forced to bite it to check if it was chocolate or not. Other popular items include hangers, hats, and other wearables. It's worth noting that in Japan, the art of making sweets is very popular, which makes it difficult to distinguish from the real thing. They often place the real thing next to the chocolate counterpart. So if you make a mistake, you could be eating a shoe. Naked attraction. There are many shows in the world where the main character or heroine is looking for their love. Now, imagine the hero or heroine is dressed, and there are 6 completely naked people. First, open them waist down. The host and the contestant walk around discussing people's genitals, what they like, what they think is strange, etc. The show is interesting because there are scientific tidbits here and there about why people attract us. In the first phase, you need to remove at least one person you don't think is very attractive. Then, the contestant gets to see their necks. Again, one must be removed. The remaining 4 can show their faces, but one of them has to go. 3 are asked to say something. They listen to their voice, and again, 1 is removed. The remaining 2 leave their cabins, and the participant has to undress. This is the final step to choosing one. The participant picks one and goes on a date with them. Already dressed, I hope. And then a follow-up interview after 1 or 2 months happens, where they were asked whether they began to meet or not. The program is very interesting precisely because it has many scientific moments that harmoniously merge into the show. True, such frank scenes can be shocking for an unprepared viewer, but we think it's really strange and cool. Tomorrow's Pioneers. This Palestinian show for children was canceled in 2009, but it's really crazy. The program was broadcast on the Hamas-controlled channel, telling little Muslims not only about the highly spiritual ideas of Islam, but also openly campaigning to destroy Jews and Americans. Among the leaders were Bumblebee Muhaji Nahul and a mouse that's a lot like Mickey Mouse. They were also joined by Asud the rabbit. Children weren't only taught to hate people, but they were taught that Jews and Americans needed to be killed. This is really shocking. Here's one of the scenes on TV. A young actress playing the spirit asks her mother, "What's in your hands? A toy or a present for me?" But the mother does not answer and leaves the house. She goes and blows herself up at the Erez checkpoint. "Come back soon, mother," the daughter sings after her. In the next scene, the little girl is watching TV and sees that her mother blew herself up along with some Israeli soldiers. The girl sings, "Not you, but you carried the bomb in your hands. And now I know what's more important than us." The children's audience in the studio reacts to this film with understanding and speaks of readiness for the fate of the martyrs. Commenting on the story, one of the leading Palestinian psychologists, Dr. Sarai, who lives in Gaza Strip, says that the glorification of suicide bombers from television screens has a very strong effect on children. We, in no case, do not promote such content on television. We just want you to know that this happens. The very worst drivers in the Netherlands. This show is incredibly popular, not only in Holland, but also in Europe. People who have just gotten their license participate in this reality show, where they drive their car along different obstacle courses and often end up in idiotic accidents. It turns out that the viewership in Holland is really strong. They love this hilarity. This is actually a television franchise that launched in the UK and quickly spread around the world. Which one of these shows do you find the strangest? Were you shocked by any of these strange shows? Let us know in the comments below, and be sure to like the video and subscribe. Until next time on Facts Inbox.